Hey guys, it's Michael from Ekids, and no, I'm not shouting this time, because this week we studied about gentleness. Now, we've been studying about the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and this week is gentleness. Now, the text that we used was Mark chapters 9 and 10. There's a couple stories that are interesting about Jesus and has a lot to do with children. So, here's what happened. Jesus had been hanging around some people that people were judging him for hanging around. Some people that weren't very important. Some outcasts. And at this time, children were considered not very important as well. I think we suffer from that today sometimes too. So, what happened at the same time, the disciples were hanging out and they were discussing who is the most important of the disciples. So Jesus places a child amongst them. Now, another story in the next chapter, people were bringing children to Jesus to bless them. And the disciples wanted to shoo, "Go away, kids." But that's not what Jesus wanted either. He said, "Bring them to me," because Jesus valued children. So in this story, we see Jesus dealing with children in a very gentle manner, though the disciples were trying to deal with them in a harsh manner. We see Jesus preaching about humility, while the disciples were preaching about pride, right? So there's a lot to learn in these chapters, in these experiences. But one thing that I thought stood out to me is how Jesus basically told them, and this is a bit of a paraphrase, but he says, if you accept these children, you've accepted me. And if you've accepted me, you accept my Father. Now, I'm not talking about salvation, but I want you to hear this. Jesus equates accepting children, which at the time were less valuable. So he says, basically, accepting people who aren't as valuable is just like accepting me. Now, we didn't teach this on Sunday, but this is for you parents. Matthew 25, you'll find the same thing. That Jesus in a parable speaks, and he says that if you feed the hungry, you shelter the refugee, you you give water to those who are thirsty, and visit the prisoners, on and on. The people who are the least of these. If we serve them, we've served Jesus, and if we haven't, then we haven't served Jesus. So This is really a lot of stuff in this short video, but I want you to hear that we are not to push away the outcast. We are to accept them and love them, and that's how we really love Jesus. And also, we are to treat people, not just children, but treat people with gentleness, with kindness, with all of these fruits of the Spirit that we've been learning about. See, this is who we are to be, because God is that way to us. We see in these chapters 9 and 10 of Mark that Jesus was gentle when he needed to be gentle. And he was gentle with children especially. So parents, can we do this? Can we be gentle with our children? I know it's halfway through the summer. We're all hot and we're all tired, and our kids can drive us crazy. So let's take a moment to refresh ourselves and remember to be gentle with our kids. Ephesians 6 tells us, dads, that we shouldn't provoke our children to wrath. So let's be gentle, let's be humble, let's be loving and kind with those around us, the outcasts, and especially our children. So that's what I have for you. Love you.